All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makak double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a quick video, and I'm probably just going to bring out only one scripture in this lesson, but I just wanted to do a video showing how far gone the minds of people are, man, in this society, all right, through it being under Esau's rulership. And what this woman says here, what you're gonna see is that you know what? I'll let it be a surprise for you people that are gonna read it, man. All right, let's play it, right? And this is a fair use, man. I'm not using this. Like if they end up getting it copyrighted or whatever, that's on them, man. But I'm just doing this to show how bugged out this society is, man. Let me play it.
So we still gotta work. We still gotta put it all. And gender is a social construct as well.
You said what? Gender is a social construct?
It is.
Right. So she said that gender is a social construct, right? Which is part of the madness of this society, man, where people try and make out like they're so desperate to try and make out like everyone is the same, right? That they're prepared to lie against things that are clearly true, man. It's obvious that there's men in this world and that there's women in this world. Genesis chapter 5 and verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him, male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. And what the joke is on this, if you carry on playing this particular video, man, which the title of the video is heated debate, would you wife a bottle girl or stripper, all right, by Fresh and Fit. And what they're talking about is that women desire men to be stronger than them, right, and that want men that is better than them and all of these things. And then this woman went on to say that gender is a social construct, man, which is ridiculous. And then she actually goes on to say that she's a Christian, which is why we laugh at Christianity so much, because the people that it produces are ignorant as hell, right? And she said something along the lines of you have to separate Christianity from history, which is another stupid term, because the things that are written in the Bible, you can go into history and see when these things have happened, right? You can go into the Bible and see where it mentions America in there. Revelation, the 18th chapter, that's talking about America. America is Babylon the Great. America is the Babylon that's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that's been used to make the earth drunken. And this woman on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, she's drunk, man. She's drunk. She doesn't know what the hell is going on, man. She doesn't even know the reality of her hand being attached to her wrist, man. She's ridiculous. And let me play a bit more.
It's a social construct. Y'all can look this up. Y'all don't have to agree with me. I really don't give a fuck, but it is a social construct.
Lord of mercy.
We have to look up whether gender is a social construct, right? But in this woman in this same stream, right, she said that men are not men anymore, or she goes on to say, she either said it before this, or she said it after this, that men are not men anymore. But if she thinks that genders are a social construct, then she wouldn't make a statement like that, man. But that's how this world is. People just say whatever they have to say in a particular situation to be able to try and win and be able to try and come out of a particular situation looking as though they're a good person, man. And be able to try and win and make a situation favor themselves, man. And this is another reason why women are not supposed to be in charge of nothing, man, because they don't know. They don't know enough, man. They're not supposed to be leaders, man. They're not supposed to. Just the fact that they're always desiring a man that's better than them is the only thing you have to see to know that they ain't supposed to be ruling nothing, man. Because no matter how much money they make, they're always going to want a man that makes more money than them. So what's the point of their money? You see what I mean? They're not supposed to be in charge, man. A person that's supposed to be in charge is going to be happy to have everybody else below them and be able to, and he's going to want to serve everybody that's below them. And he's going to be humble enough to serve those that they are actually worthy of being better than. And that's why Yahweh Shai is such a glorious king and such a glorious ruler unto us, man, because although he was the Messiah and he was righteous beyond measure, he humbled himself to die for our sins, man. and he washed his disciples' feet. And he could have brought angels to destroy those that was trying to crucify him. But he didn't do that. He humbled himself, man. Let me carry on playing this.
Okay. This is a great show.
Bitch, I really don't give a fuck.
We can tell.
I don't.
All right, penis check. It is not a social construct. It's a biological construct.
Like, I really don't
Exactly. Let me go back.
You're in a nursing school, right? Male and female.
Yeah. So men and women.
Men and women that's gender. That's social construct.
Wait.
Can you
Like,
explain
these
that?
people, they always think they're so deep, man. Saying male and saying a man is the same thing, man. Right? Let's not play dumb. But these people want to be so deep, right, that they're prepared to lie about anything that's clearly true, man. You've even got people in this world that if you ask them what's 2 and 2, 2 plus 2, they'll try and say, well, it depends. It could be 22, it depends. No, it's 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. It always has been and always will be, man. But this world's so ridiculous, right? If this woman was to get punched in her mouth, which I'm not saying that I'm not promoting violence here, man, but I'm just using this as an example. If this woman was to get punched in her mouth by a man or by a woman, she wouldn't, when the police show up and say who did it, she wouldn't say, I don't know. I don't know what there was. She wouldn't be able to say, I don't know what they looked like. She'd say that it was a man that did it, or if it was a woman that did it, she'd say that it was a woman that did it, so that particular person can get caught for the crime that they committed against her. Let me carry on playing.
Male and female. You're in a nursing school, right?
Are you
Male and
saying
female.
it's
Sex, gender, two different things.
Yeah,
so
they are.
gender is a social construct. It is. Look it up.
I just mean go further in your explanation of what
You
you
are a
said
legend,
that.
my friend. Yeah.
They're saying to her, go further in explanation. She can't go further because she's just listening to whatever Esau said. She's saying, go and look it up. Who's the person pushing this type of stuff, man? It's Esau. It's Esau, man.
You're a legend.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
No,
Yeah,
please.
You're one of a kind.
I just
Explain,
want.
please.
I don't even want
just
to.
give me-
I really don't even want to because I don't want y'all to not agree with me. And this is something I read.
No, but it's
I just want y'all to look it up.
I'm trying to learn. That's what I'm asking. Like, I really don't know. I'm lost.
Okay, from the article, from
She's
what
saying
I
like you
read.
can choose your gender type shit. You can't choose your sex. That's
Hold
what she's saying.
No, but it's true. Okay, so from what I've read, from the research that I've
Teach me.
Hold on.
from the research, look it up. Y'all took our phones. Okay, so from what I've read,
Lost.
gender is a social construct because like way back, like Mesopotamian days and shit like that, that wasn't a thing. Like women and female wasn't a thing.
She's talking about way back, Mesopotamian days. Well, this is Genesis chapter 5 and verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam. In the day when they were created. So what's she talking about, man? This is way before that. This is before that. There's always been men and women. What's she talking about, man? But this is what I mean when people try and get too deep. And I even think she mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And tries to use Sodom and Gomorrah and say, oh, they didn't know they was being wicked. Sodom and Gomorrah gets destroyed, man. Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed by the Lord. But let's carry on, man.
Thing. Men were wearing women clothes just because they felt like it type shit. Like it was a lot of that shit going on. Like you can look, please just look it up because you're screwing up your face and you making me feel like I'm crazy.
You talking about Roman time?
Way before that. Roman came after the Mesopotamia and shit like that. Just look it up, please.
Hold on. So you're saying back in the days they didn't have gender roles, or you get to choose your gender and all of this
No,
stuff?
like literally, it wasn't a big concept. That's what I'm saying. Gender roles obviously manifested within history or whatever the case may be.
How?
But
So what about Adam and Eve? Like,
not even Adam.
Exactly. What about Adam and Eve? What about Adam and Eve? And this woman, she goes on, I swear she goes on to, so like you're not supposed to swear. I'm almost certain that she goes on to say that she's a Christian, man. But let's see.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what started like first concept of gender roles. So that means you don't believe in that concept.
I
Wait,
No, I'm just
Well,
asking. Like,
You're
do
asking me, do I believe in Adam and Eve?
Yeah, because if that's the case, how did Mesopotamian how did that come down?
Well,
and trickle
Adam
down
and
like
Eve
that?
is Adam, and that's assuming that I'm Christian.
Right.
I am Christian. I am Christian.
That's assuming that I'm Christian. I am Christian. But then she's talking about some Mesopotamia business, right? And trying to use that as a doctrine that she's supposed to push. You see what I mean about how lost these people are, man. They don't know what they're talking about, man, and they shouldn't even open their mouths to speak, man. They need to be opening their ears and closing their mouths, man. They need to uncircumcise the foreskin of their wicked hearts, man. Let's carry on playing this.
But I'm just saying, I've read it. It's a history thing. When
Well,
you gotta separate religion and history.
Yeah, but it's not a religion thing because also there's a lot of times that's history that's been erased and rewritten.
Yeah.
So we can't even say history was like the factual history. There's a lot of things in history that's been ripped off pages
Right.
that you have to go look for it that you can't find. This talking
That's why
about
you should
choosing
look
your
it up.
roles and gender, that's bullshit and that's fuckery.
Exactly,
I ain't gonna hold
exactly.
you.
I'm not
'Cause
telling you to
No,
choose your
I know,
role.
but I'm just saying that research that these
Trying
people
to say that there's no such thing as a man, and there's no such thing as a woman is BS, man. Right? And people that want to say, this woman also goes on to say that she said something about how history's been changed and all of that stuff. And Esau does try and lie about certain things in history, but the Israelites have been going into these histories and showing where Esau is lying, and showing that the certain time when they've tried to say that people in history were looking like them, they're lying about it, man. It's the elder Malcolm from the Chicago camping Great Millstone. He does an excellent job of going into that stuff, man, through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
that that's fuckery because how you gonna tell me that you could choose your gender back in the day? So how people was fucking and
No,
making
they didn't. My thing is they didn't choose any. Like what I'm trying to say is from what I've read a long time ago. Sometimes men would just literally like wear what would be women's clothing, what we would consider women's clothing or a wig, or do things.
And that's why they was destroyed. That's why places like Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed, because people were doing wickedness. That's why there was a flood that destroyed everyone on the earth apart from 8 people, because people were doing wickedness. But this woman's trying to crying out for that stuff to be put on the earth again, right? But people are already doing that right now. And that's why Yahweh's going to destroy people on the earth again. And then he's going to raise the Israelites up to be righteous and have the laws of God put within their minds. And he's going to make the Israelites be the judges of the earth and break people in the rod with iron that want to try and live wicked ways again. They're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Women would do just because they felt like it, not because they felt like being a woman, just because they felt like it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a man, I should do this.
Basically, this woman wants to make men be effeminate, man, so she can try and run games. That's what she wants. She wants men to be wearing dresses, men to be running around being soft, men to be taking her BS, so that she can run games, so she can go around the streets being a dirty fuck, right, and just nobody says anything. She's on the same doctrine as Esau, man, to try and emasculate the Israelite, man. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And everyone there, even though these people are not even close to trying to even seeking out righteousness, a lot of these people on here, man. Right? You even had Eve bunning her out, man. Which both of these women are Benjamites, by the way. The one in the orange top's a Benjamite. And the one in the bottom right-hand side is a Benjamite, the one, man. Right? But you even had Eve bunning out Eve. That's how bugged out this type of belief is. That even Eve standing up and talking about, nah, this is BS.
Woman, I should do this. That was going on back then. Like, they was doing shit like that. We talking about times where niggas was fucking each other in the ass and shit.
they still do that?
Exactly. She's trying to promote a time where people is being wicked as hell. Like, what's wrong with these people, man?
No, they still do it, but it wasn't even like at that time, gay wasn't a thing. Like, if you're talking about Adam and Eve, you gotta look.
At that time, she said that wasn't a thing. Well, you gotta explain then. You gotta explain to me why Yahweh put a law in the scriptures about people doing that and about them dying. because of doing that. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So that's the judgment for doing that kind of thing. But this woman's trying to promote a way of life based on people living like that. And people are supposed to believe her. And people are supposed to follow her.
At Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't know that
Let
shit
me
was.
go back.
No. They still do it, but it wasn't even like at that time. Gay wasn't a thing. Like if you're talking about Adam and Eve, you gotta look at Sodom and Gomorrah. They didn't know that shit was wrong. Like if we.
Yes, they did know that stuff was wrong. Yes, they did, man. There's always been a moral code. There's always been a time where Yahweh said that there's certain things that you can do and certain things that you can't do. This is Genesis chapter 9 and verse 6. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And when you go to Genesis the 19th chapter, Lot goes to his sons-in-law and tries to tell him to not be wicked, and they ain't trying to hear that, man. And they get told when the men try and come and want to try and lie with they want to try and lie with the two angels. The angels are like Lot's telling them, nah, this is wicked, and they ain't trying to hear that. This is Genesis chapter 19 and verse 14. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for Yahweh will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocketh unto his sons-in-law, because they wasn't trying to hear that, man. Because they was trying to dwell in the wickedness. They wanted to be wicked, man. They wanted to be demons, you know. They wanted to be about that LGBT. They wanted to be about that feminist doctrine that promotes just women being able to never have a set answer on anything, and for every answer to have grey areas. Oh, well, it depends. Oh, well, it depends on how you feel like. You know? That's how it is, man. When you watch these people talk, they never have a set standard. They never have a set standard on what they think anything should be like, man. There's never a set standard with these people. There's always like a grey area every single time, man. This is Genesis chapter 19 and verse 5. In fact, Genesis chapter 19 and I'll go to verse 1, you know. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold, now my Lord's turn. Behold, now my Lord turns in. Salakia, 1 second. Behold, now my Lord's turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and turned in unto him, and they turned in unto him, and gathered, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out, that we may know them. So they wanted to sleep with those men. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. So if Lot knew that it was wicked, then that means they would have known that it was wicked. So what's she talking about they didn't know that it was wicked at that time? She's a liar. She's a liar, man. And I could go back into the video and play more, but I think I've made the point, man. Right? The people in this world, man, are lunatics, man. Right? They're lunatics. And the way how they think about things is so off. Yet they actually talk about it with boldness, man. And it's very rare that people get called out for their BS. And I'm surprised that they got called out, that she got called out for her BS as much as she did in that room, especially by women, man. It was actually a so-called black woman that was bunning her out the most when she was saying all that stuff, man. Which is a surprise, man. Which is a surprise. But yeah, I'm going to end the lesson there, man. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash, and double honors to the apostle and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Don't let these people deceive you into destroying yourself, man, by believing in their bugged out doctrine, friend. Believe in the Lord. Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.